Okay, let's work on the physics problem, and this one's about vector components. We have a car that's driving to the right, another one that's stationary, and we have an AB line between the two that we call an AB line. And the first part of the problem is asking us to show on the figure with arrows the components of this vector V, one that's parallel to the AB line and one that's perpendicular to the AB line. Okay, let's get to it. First I'm gonna mark the perpendicular one, and this will be from here going to here, and this is my, I'm gonna put it right here, V perpendicular. Okay, and let's mark our V parallel, and it's gonna come from here down here. I'm gonna mark it V parallel. There you go, that's our V parallel, this is our V perpendicular. Now they're asking us to mark the angle theta that we're gonna use to calculate the components. I'm gonna choose this angle right here, and I'm gonna mark it as theta. This is a 90-degree angle here. We could have marked also another angle if we remember from trigonometry. If we take this line and this line, then from trigonometry we know that this angle is the same as this angle. So just like this is theta, this is also theta. Okay, now they are asking us to write a trig function, so in a way that we can find the numerical value of this angle theta. Okay, for this one we're gonna use tangent. So I'm gonna write it up here, tangent theta, and here I'm not gonna use this triangle, but I'm gonna use this big triangle right here. Opposite over adjacent, so theta, and this opposite will be 100 meters, and my adjacent is 80 meters. Now we are interested in finding theta itself, so therefore theta equals tangent inverse of this whole thing, 100 meters over 80 meters, and from here we can get the value of theta, which is 51.3 degrees. There you go, we found our theta. This was part C. Part A and B were just marking it on the graph or on the figure. Okay, part D. Part D is asking us to describe each component, the V parallel and V perpendicular, with a trig function first, and then calculate its actual value. So let's go ahead and start with, I'm gonna start with V parallel. We're gonna work in this triangle right here. We have our main vector, the V, is given, it's 60 meters per second. And to calculate the V parallel, we're gonna use cosine. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse here. And then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, instead of adjacent to hypotenuse, I'm gonna write V parallel equals my actual V times cosine of theta. Now we can go ahead and start plugging our values in. V parallel equals V is given 60 meters per second times the cosine of the theta, which we found right here, 51.3 degrees. From here with a calculator we can find that V parallel will be 37.5 meters per second. There you go. This is our trig function that helps us find V parallel, and that's this component, and its actual value is down here. Now let's work on finding V perpendicular. For this one we're gonna use sine. Again, we're gonna be in this triangle, and instead of opposite and hypotenuse, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in straight with V perpendicular and our main, the hypotenuse, which for us is V. Solve for it, and V sine theta. So sine opposite of hypotenuse is the same as sine V perpendicular over our main V. We solve for V perpendicular, and there you go. We have the trig function that describes V perpendicular. Let's plug in V 60 meters per second times sine of the theta, which is 51.3, and with a calculator, if we plug it in, we can find the value for this, which is 46.8 meters per second. There you go. That would be the problem.